All right, so last class we were discussing legal remedies, that when a wrong is being committed, we can ask for some sort of relief or remedies which may be given by court. That is considered as judicial remedies, or it may be something where we are trying to help ourselves. We are not waiting for courts to provide us a relief. That is nothing but extrajudicial remedies. Do you remember what all types of remedies we have in judicial remedies in tort? Different type of remedies that we have under judicial. We have damages, injunction, plus specific restitution of property, which are nothing but judicial remedies. Court will provide us that. At the same time, we have extrajudicial remedies as well: expulsion of trespasser, re-entry on land, recaption of goods, abatement, distress, damage, visit. So these are 5 different types that we have in extrajudicial remedies. Now, as we mentioned, that damages is in fact the most common type of relief or remedy granted in case of torts. So there are different types of damages also. Okay, damages means nothing but monetary compensation, which is usually in terms of an unliquidated or not prefixed amount. It will be decided by court only when parties approach the court and they file a case before the court. Court will look at different situations and try to fix an amount which will eventually be paid to the victim who has suffered a loss. But then when we see damages, there are different kinds of damages that we see. There are 4 main types of damages, that is contemptuous damage, nominal damage, substantial or ordinary damage, exemplary, retributory or punitive damage. So these are 4 main types of damages that we come across, and these names are given based on the reason why this fine is imposed or the situation. In what kind of a situation this specific type of damage may be given, damages may be provided. Based on that, we have these classifications. Okay, so first one is contemptuous or nominal and nominal damage. So in this first one, right, contemptuous or nominal damage, here what happens is the loss suffered by parties is like very less. It's like trivial in nature. It's so less that usually parties would have most likely like ignored it. Okay, so parties would have most likely ignored it, but in this given case, party did decide to go before court and ask for a compensation. And yes, some loss is being suffered. Maybe it is in terms of money, maybe in terms of health, comfort, whatever. But the amount of loss suffered is very less, very minimum. So a very less amount of compensation is being paid to the parties. That is nothing but contemptuous damages. Rather than getting justice, it's as if like party has wasted time of court. It's so minimal amount of loss suffered by parties. Okay, and because loss is also very less, compensation as well will be very less only. Okay, very less amount of compensation will be provided. That is depending on the type of loss suffered by parties, type of injury suffered by parties. It's so less, it's so minimum that a very less amount of compensation is being paid here. Okay, that is the first type which we have. Second type is nominal damages. Now, these two are sort of related. In nominal damages also, it's not like a very big amount, less amount is being paid. Okay, in nominal damage also less amount, contemptuous damages also less amount is being paid. But then what's the difference between both of them? Why do we have 2 different types of damages then? If in both the cases we are paying less amount, why do we have 2 different types of damages? It is only because in case of nominal damages, what is happening is your rights, legal rights are being affected. as such to prove before court you have not sustained any such injury. Okay, like we discussed those maxims of legal damage, right? We discussed one case, HB versus White. Do you remember which maxim is it where HB versus White case relates to? Maxims of legal damage. There were two, right? Injuria sine damno, damnum sine injuria. So which one, under which one HB versus White case falls? So damnum sine injuria was relating to Gloucester Grammar School case. That means injuria sine damno is something where SB versus White case falls, where what happened is person suffered very less loss, right? It was only that his legal right was being violated. It was just that he was not allowed to give his vote, even though he was a qualified voter. But then, as such, to prove before court, no actual loss or harm was being suffered. For whom he wanted to vote, that person, anyways, owned the election. That means, as such, to prove before the court, to show the court, no actual loss is being suffered. Only thing is that party's right was being violated. So, for violation of that right, compensation was accordingly paid. That will be nominal damage, where only your legal right is affected. As such, in terms of money, in terms of comfort, health, you have not suffered anything. But in case of contemptuous damages, you have suffered some loss, but then it's very less, and accordingly lesser amount of compensation is being paid. Okay, so these two classifications are depending on the amount paid. It's a little amount which is paid as a form of compensation. And on the basis of that, we have these two classifications or these two different types of damages. Next one is substantial damages. Now, what is substantial? Substantial means a substantial amount of compensation is being paid. A bigger amount of compensation is being paid in such cases. Substantial damages are awarded as a means to compensate plaintiff where they have suffered an actual loss. It was not only a case of mere violation of legal right of the person, like what happened in HB versus White. But in this case, apart from violation of legal right, person has also suffered some injury. Might be some physical injury, some mental stress, maybe some comfort, health, whatever. Some actual loss is also being suffered by parties. And that is why substantial amount is being paid as compensation over here, depending on the loss suffered by parties. Okay, so here what happens? Substantial damages can be again classified in two groups. One is special damages, another one is general damages. Again, it is self-explanatory. From the words also we get an idea, right? Substantial damage, that means a substantial amount or a bigger amount, a considerable amount is paid by way of compensation to the victim. And when this substantial amount or considerable amount is paid as compensation, court will follow certain methods of calculating, right? Court would apply some methods of calculation to decide how much will be the right amount of compensation to be paid in this given situation. Okay, and depending on for what purpose a certain amount is being paid, we can further classify it into two groups, special damages and general damages. So special damages means something which is given, some amount which is given for specific losses suffered. Okay, specific losses suffered. Take for example, there is a person who was injured. All right, that person in an accident, he was like victim of an accident. As a result, what happened? This accident took place because of negligence of the driver. And the person, victim, he suffered severe injury. As a result, doctor said that, okay, this operation you need to get this thing done. After that, you need to get this plaster done. After that, you need to visit us every alternate day for dressing. That means that person will incur some amount of loss, right? Some amount of money he need to spend for the medical things. Their court can provide him special damages. That means court can say that for this specific operation that you need to get done, this is the amount of compensation. Okay, for the operation that you need to do, this is the amount of compensation that we are paying. After that, yes, every alternate day, you need to go for dressing. That will again require you to spend some time daily. For that also, this is the specific amount, right? That means court has classified, this is for your operation, this is for the after expenses, whatever you will have, doctor visit, whatever. That means it is for the medical expenses that is being classified. That is nothing but special damages. Out of substantial, this certain amount is paid specifically to meet the medical expenses. At the same time, there can be general damages also, which is nothing but they will cover in general, some amount will be decided because of the pain, suffering, loss of expectation of life, etc. Just because of that operation, maybe the person was not able to go to his work. As a result, he suffered from depression. As a result, he had to stay alone. He was going through a lot of pain, suffering, all of those things taken together. That he was not in a comfortable position right now, only because of that accident. So all of those things taken together, some general amount will be given by court. Okay, so that again falls under substantial damage. That yes, it was not just that your right was being violated. Apart from that, you have also suffered some injury or loss. As a result, we are going to pay you a substantial amount of compensation, substantial damages, or a considerable amount of compensation. But while paying it, a certain amount is for medical expenses and the remaining amount is for the general issues that you are suffering, general discomfort that you are going through. For that, we have made this payment. Okay, so that falls under substantial damages. Okay, substantial, it is also called as ordinary damage because it's the most common type of damages, right? When a person suffers loss, some sort of injury, the person would go before court and ask for a compensation. So it's like an ordinary damages, which is usually paid, or substantial damages. For the loss suffered, court would try to decide what is the right amount of compensation to be paid in this case. And accordingly, amount will be paid here. Now, last one is punitive damages. See, court will definitely, in case of torts, damages are not prefixed. That will be decided depending on who all are the parties, what was the situation, what went wrong. Those things will be taken into consideration. But even after that, there is a possibility that whatever amount of compensation is being fixed, that amount may be very less for the person. Okay, take for example, if there is like a very big company, okay, very big company who are earning good profit. Now they had put up like a false ad on TV that they have developed some pills which will help quick weight loss. Okay, these sort of ads anyways are very popular, right? We see them everywhere. So there was this company who published an ad that we have developed this very like magical pills. If you take it, you will be able to lose weight quickly without any sort of exercise, diet change or anything. You will be able to do it. And on top of that, this is made up of natural ingredients. As a result, you will not suffer from any side effects or anything. You can take it without a worry. That was what they claimed in the ad. And believing on this, plaintiff also purchased those pills. She consumed it, and later on, she came to know that it was containing some chemicals, and because of that, she fell sick. So in such a case, if court asks the company that, okay, you had put up this false or fake ad, and this person suffered injury, she had to suffer for a few days, so you need to pay her, might be whatever is the amount, okay, 50,000, 1 lakh, 2 lakhs. It's a very small amount for the company, right? Because they are otherwise earning good profit from that pill. So they can simply pay that amount to the person, and they would not even realize their mistake. Okay, they would not even realize what might be the consequences of such a false ad. So in such cases, court may even decide to impose punitive damages. Okay, that means damages are also known as exemplary or punitive damages, where it is imposed to punish the defendant. The amount is higher. Okay, it's not very less amount, that how much loss is suffered, that much only is the compensation. No, the amount will be higher. Why? Because they want to make the company realize that, yes, you have done something wrong. Okay, it is like in form of punishment. That amount, company also should feel that, okay, we have paid a big amount. All right, so in some cases, punitive damages may also be imposed by court. Whenever court feels that act of defendant was severely gross, they can impose punitive damages. That it was very bad, it was really insensitive, or it really would affect the society at large. So they can impose a higher amount of damages as a form of punishment, so that the defendant also realizes their mistake. That's the basic aim over here. Okay, so these are the 4 common types of damages that we see in law of torts. First being contemptuous damage, wherein you have suffered very less amount of harm and court will provide you lesser compensation. Second being nominal damages, wherein as such you have not suffered any loss, but only your legal right was violated. So here as well, you will get lesser amount of compensation, like AIBE versus White case. Next one is substantial damages, which is like a considerable amount is paid because parties have suffered real loss because of this situation. And within that substantial damages, some amount may be special damages, which is paid for specific expenses incurred by the plaintiff, and some amount may be general damages. It's paid for the general suffering or discomfort that the person had to go through. Fourth one being exemplary or retributory or punitive damages, that we want to teach that defendant a lesson that whatever he has done was very bad. And that person also should realize that, yes, I have paid a big amount as compensation and maybe I should not repeat these kind of situations, right? Because if he was asked that, okay, you just pay 50,000 rupees as compensation, but maybe daily they are earning 5 lakhs rupees profit, there it would not matter for them, right? They would be like, it's a very small amount, let's pay it, let's close this. So in some cases, punitive damages also may become relevant or important. Accordingly, it will be imposed. All right, so these are the 4 common types of damages which are paid or which are given as a form of judicial remedy, wherein parties will approach the court, they will ask for a relief.